know I didn't give you much of a heads up as to what the topic is going to be today, but it's going to be the market never lies. If you're someone who's always wondering how come your marketing isn't improving, or things aren't getting better, or how to analyze the market and take the feedback, this one's for you. Check it out. Check it out. We are live. Look at this. Wednesday, October 9th, 9 a.m. Is it 999? Oh, that'd be last month. So it's 10-9. It's October, so it's 10-9-9. That's what it was. I wonder if last year, was there a 999? I wonder if there was. Was there a show? Did I do a show on the 9th of September? I probably did. Look at that. September 9th was a Monday. So that would have been 9-9 at 9 a.m. Very cool. Didn't know that. Good morning. Happy October 9th, 9 a.m. U.S. Central. Oh, excuse me, goodness gracious. Coffee will get to you sometimes. Hey, my name is Patrick Almond. I run a automation agency here in the Midwest called Stop Doing Nothing Media, and we go live multiple times a week to talk to you about strategy, to talk to you about business ideas, to talk to you about the good and bad things we have all learned in business. I am your host and moderator, but I am not the only one who you're going to be getting feedback from. So if you are joining and watching, I'm looking at the comments to see what you want to talk about and your feedback on the topic today, okay? What do we have going on? First of all, I like to cover, the news. First of all, shout out to my friends anybody I know in Florida. I've done a lot of business in Florida in the past 5 or 10 years. I haven't done any recently, but I've got a lot of friends in Fort Myers and Naples and Orlando and Tampa. I mean, that is a huge area for business. It's a very luxurious area to live. And so, not that any of those things have anything to do with me, but I just know lots of people down there, and my thoughts very much are with you on that. I hope that everyone is playing nice. I hope everyone's on the freeway. I hope the traffic keeps moving. I know it's going to start happening and things like this as people are going to be on the freeway and start running out of gas. They're going to start getting impatient with each other. We're going to start getting hostile with each other. I really hope that doesn't happen. Oftentimes what happens, and it's kind of cool and kind of sad, and I've seen it a lot here in Oklahoma where, we're in the middle of Tornado Alley here, okay? There's probably a tornado museum someplace in the city that I don't know about. So it's not like we don't know of what our shares of destructive weather can do. But what's really weird is right after natural disasters and right before Christmas, people for some reason tend to get along a little bit better, okay? People are stealing less, people are lying less, people are willing to help each other more. And, I am for one, I'm sure everyone probably feels this way, is you wonder, how come it can't be that way all the time? How come it just can't be nice all the time? I mean, we don't have to act like we're running away and we're all going to get killed by a hurricane, but just why can't we be as nice every single day as we are right after a natural disaster when your neighbor needs, a cup of milk or sugar or water or whatever? Why can't we be that nice all the time? And that's kind of a rhetorical question because I have no feedback loop right now. It's just me talking to the camera. But if you are listening to this later or you're watching this later, on the podcast or on YouTube or wherever, just think about that. And I think thinking about that is not going to solve the problem, but if more of us just consider that there are other times to be nice besides just right after disaster, right before Christmas, and I don't know, maybe we can put a little bit chink in our proverbial armor, and we can be less assholey stuff. Mark, good man, good to see you there. You gotta get something going on, so you always have a good reason to miss the show, and I really do appreciate you tuning in. Remind me where you're located, Mark. You're not going to get hit by this weather, are you? Yeah, I don't believe you were anywhere down that area in the southeast. I believe because you would be hustling out of there right now. But Mark's tuning in, watching live, and we do have a cool new trick, and I've told you guys about this before. If you're watching, do me a favor and go and try to watch on YouTube more than other places. I'm trying to just jack up my numbers there, and it really helps me out. Or watch in multiple places. I do not care. At least you're here. At least you're watching. Okay, what is on? Let me see my show notes today. If you haven't had a chance to go watch the show I did, I believe it was last week. Mark, I didn't realize. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot, Mark. I totally forgot about that. Um, um, Excuse me. I need to start taking notes of the people, of my regular listeners, and like remember where they are and their family information because I'm starting to get plenty of different people and just forget where they are, Mark. So I apologize. Um, I did a show, I believe it was last week or the week before, that talks about how life is more like Tetris than chess. And I'm going to put a link to an article where I read this and where I was talking about it. And this is for those of you who may not have gotten to see this show. I thought this was freaking incredible. I thought this was a great read, and so I did a whole show on it. And so right there should be the link in the chat right there for everyone who's on Twitch, YouTube, looks like at Facebook and Facebook. Looks like I posted 4 places. So go take a look at that story and then go watch my resulting video. And the title of it is Life is More Like Tetris Than Chess. And it basically says life is more, the summary of it, the 30-second version of it is life is more just random things coming at you in different shapes and different speeds. And you really have no choice. They're coming. You don't get to take your time sometimes. They come as fast or as slow as they want. And the person who's going to win or the person who's going to survive is the person who just knows how to juggle and pivot really fast. If you can juggle and you can pivot really fast in life and in business, then you're gonna succeed or you're gonna maintain. Okay, success is a totally different topic. And yeah, so if you haven't had a chance yet, please go do that. What do we have coming up here? For those of you, my marketing friends, don't forget we've got the Level Up Conference, October 21st through 23rd. I'm going down to Dallas myself the day before, I think. Is that right? I think October 20th is when I'm driving down from Oklahoma City. The morning of the 21st, I'm putting on a mastermind from 9 to 1, about 3 or 4 blocks from the event hotel. Excuse me. And then for the event, I will obviously be on site, probably earlier and later than most people, at the Statler Hotel in Dallas. There's a really cool breakfast restaurant called Over Easy down at the bottom, basically named after the eggs. I'm not staying at the event hotel. I'm staying a couple of blocks away. But last year, what I did is I got over there early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's before most people are up at events. If you have ever been to any kind of industry events, you notice that people like to sleep in, like party hard, sleep in late, and get up and drag themselves in the first session. It doesn't matter how late I stay up and quote unquote party. Um, I will probably be up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning exercising in Dallas someplace, and then I'll be heading over to the Over Easy about 6 o'clock. And a couple things I like about the Over Easy is it's nice and quiet in the morning. It's morning, so no one's there, and they're very good on making custom meals for me. I consume a ton of protein, and so they got their standard fare on their menu. But if there's like a 3 egg omelet, and I ask them to make a 5 egg omelet and add some extra sausage and bacon, they're like, sure, no problem. And I can sit at the bar, so it's easy for them. It's easy for me. So if you're going to be in Dallas at this event and you want to hang out, I will probably be down at the Over Easy for breakfast every single morning when it's dark, when it's quiet. So feel free to join me down there. We will polish off a cup of coffee or two. We will consume lots of protein, and we will talk about marketing automation because that's my jam. Like I said, the morning of the 21st, which is Monday morning, I'm having a mastermind at 9 a.m. And that is directly north of the Statler Hotel, like 3 blocks. It's going to be free. If you, if you want some more information about that, please text the number that will rotate through your screen here, 405-217-4752. And I'm always looking for feedback on this, which is kind of what our show is about, is I was considering taking my 3 a week shows maybe down to one a week and maybe moving them to a Wednesday evening show versus a Wednesday morning show. So if you have any feedback on that, I'd like to hear it. And then I'm making this decision based on data, which is basically the topic of our show today. The market never lies. I did not, I got into marketing, or my agency didn't originally do a lot of marketing. We did a lot of software development training back when I started my business, in 1998. Ooh, coffee will get to you. Back when I started my business in the end of 98, we did a lot of software development training. I would actually travel around the world, install a product on these mainframe computers, and I would basically train people how to use it. And the software, ironically, was software development management software, meaning it helped people check out software programs, work on them, test them, version them, and then put them back up into what was known as a production environment. Okay, so basically they worked in beta and alpha, and we worked on some change control software, and I taught people how to have more structured software development processes, better software development communication, better management, all that kind of stuff, and then the software kind of enforced the teachings I would do. And so I would go into this software, implement it for like a month or two, get very familiar with all the restaurants in the area. It was pretty cool. And then I would conduct like a week or two of classes where basically I would be on my feet, 12 hours a day conducting classes all week to make sure everyone in the company got trained. And so it was a hands-on class. So I had to create demo accounts and all that. And that was really fun. It wasn't something I planned on getting into, but it happened to work out that way. And then at some point in time, when I was looking at pivoting what our agency did, marketing came up. And I was just trying to think of something that would work well with my skill set, which is everything, everything tech, everything digital. Tech is like matrix code to me. I see tech and I instantly get almost all tech out there. The newer AI stuff these days is confounding me a little bit, but I don't have to know it very well to like it and to appreciate it and to use it as a tool, which is something I'm doing more and more. But I was looking for something that would be, where I could produce quantifiable results for clients. And I went through my head, went through, kind of things I was being asked to do as an agency, and eventually landed on marketing. And one of the benefits, I didn't know it at the time, but one of the benefits I've realized I really like about marketing is that there's not a lot of guesswork in this field, okay? In the world of digital marketing, it's very easy to know what works and what doesn't work, okay? In the world of billboard marketing, you put a billboard on a bus stop or above a stoplight or whatever, and people see it. I really don't know how you measure whether or not a billboard's working. TV commercials the same way. You hope that you generate awareness when you're running TV commercials, and radio commercials the same way. Is you just hope that there's a surge in phone calls. You hope that you can say, oh, this radio station played my commercial at 9 a.m. and we saw a surge in phone calls from 9 to 15. But there's no quantifiable way to know whether or not something is working. And what's beautiful about digital marketing is there's almost always a quantifiable way if you do it right, okay? And so that's what kind of drove me today to the show topic, which is the market never lies, okay? Something else drove it to me. Something else drove this topic to my head today. Is recently I had a chat with the CEO of a company that I really respect, and every now and then I used to use this product and I don't anymore, just because I don't have any particular projects for it. Not that it's a bad product, but even when I switched from using his product to a different product, we've actually stayed in touch. And he reached out to me recently via DM, chatted with me. This is yesterday, and he gave me some feedback on what he's seeing as a result of my YouTube work and my marketing and my Facebook work and my, YouTube shorts and my Facebook reels. He didn't have to reach out, but he did. And he basically said, I'm seeing you every place, which is good, Patrick, but I'm seeing you talk more and more about certain things, and I would think you'd want to be talking about these things. Or have you considered this business direction because your content doesn't really match what I would think would be a good direction for you? And that was, sometimes it's a little bit painful to hear feedback from other people. Number one, it's just it can be a little bit damaging to the ego. It really can. Even the best, the strongest of people of the world, we all have egos, and it can be a little bit hurtful, a little bit damaging, even when the person didn't intend it. And this is why. And it's not the fault of the deliverer; it's the fault of the receiver. When we start our businesses and when we put things out there, when we're trying to do big things, we have visions of how things will go and how things will work. And I'm like, I want to make the best widget, not the cheapest widget, but the best widget that's going to solve this person's problem. And I'll have a podcast that'll talk about this. And this is my grand vision. And then we put that dream out there. And then what happens is the market wakes up one morning and kicks us in the gonads. It really does. And that can be very depressing sometimes when we want to do big things and the market either doesn't support it or the market gives us feedback that doesn't reflect our grand dreams. And so when I say something like that can be hurtful, it's not hurtful because the deliverer sent a bad message. It means, oh, what I thought I was when I thought I was doing something in my grandiose dream, like me running this live show and doing content and whatnot, I thought I was putting off a certain vibe, a certain message to attract a certain kind of audience. And it turns out I may not be doing it the way I intended, or I'm communicating something else. Something else is coming out of my mouth than what I am intending for my messaging. So it was good feedback. It really was. And the gentleman doesn't know the impact he has on me, but it's actually going to kind of gear a little bit more what I put on my website and what I'm going to be talking about when it comes to strategy. Okay, I have to be a little bit more strategic, literally and figuratively, in what I'm presenting to the world, and the market will reflect that. And the beauty about that is, first of all, he's not the first person that said that. I've had a couple of people give me feedback on that, and I wish I had 1,000 people give me feedback. But if 5 or 10 people give you feedback, you still have to listen to it. So accidentally, I got good feedback about what I should be working on, and that's going to kind of gear my direction. Okay, and I want you in your marketing to either on purpose or accidentally be doing the exact same thing. Is when you put marketing out there, listen to the feedback you get from the market. Okay, I've got for those of you that are paying attention, I've got some YouTube advertising running right now. I'm doing a bunch of testing on for my own personal stuff. I've got client stuff running also, but I'm specifically testing how certain videos work on YouTube. And unfortunately, the videos that I thought were the greatest aren't the ones working the best. And but I know that because I've got feedback, I've got data. And all too often I see people making a lot of guesses and a lot of leaps in business, and they don't have any data to back up their decisions. They don't have any research. They don't have any A/B testing. The world of digital marketing is so freaking awesome because we can measure and test everything, okay? We can, if we're not sure that the market wants a certain service offering, you know what? Put 10 videos out there about that service offering and run Facebook ad money to it. Okay, tracking numbers. Yeah, Mark's talking about it right here. Brian's talking about it too. Brian, didn't know you were on there, man. Good to see you. Um, but and there are going to be times when you can't measure things. Okay, that's just a given. But measure what you can. Right now, I am kind of obsessed a little bit over my own analytics. I'm looking at which videos are getting the most impressions, which tells me what people are searching for. I'm getting information as to how long people are watching each videos. So I know whether or not, my hook, which is the beginning part of a video, I know whether or not my hook is good enough to keep people going, okay? So video impressions, video duration time, and then I'm watching how many videos are causing people to subscribe and follow me, okay? And some people would say this is a crazy detailed amount of analytics. I don't obsess over it, okay? I look at the data, I give the data, 5-10 minutes and say, Okay, well, I need to adjust this. And so, for example, yesterday, I was looking at my numbers, and I've got, I think, 5 or 6 videos running right now that I'm putting ad money against. And I'm seeing different numbers for impressions. I'm not, the videos that are getting the most impressions and the most views are not the ones that are converting the best. And so you'd think that, you think you'd put all this content out there, whether it's a blog post or a podcast or a video. You think you'd put all this content out there and there would be this giant outlier, right? There'd be this one video that would get all these impressions and all these views and all these clicks and all these conversions, okay? I give you 4 stats there. But what do you do when the leader in those 4 videos and those 4 stats are both different videos? Okay, so I'm looking at my analytics yesterday, and thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brian, for that, for the comments. I'm looking at my videos yesterday, and the one that's getting the most impression is the one that's getting the most clicks, but it's not the one that's getting played the longest, and it's definitely not the one that's converting the best. So I've got 3 different videos here. The one that's getting the most impressions, most views, one that's getting the most clicks, and the ones that's getting the most conversions. Conversions being a YouTube subscribe. And so that gets kind of difficult. I mean, which one is the winner? What I ended up doing is I actually ended up pausing that first one that's getting the most views and the most views and the most impressions. I paused that one to see if maybe the ad system is going to balance out the money and maybe give some more love to the one that's converting the best. That's the one that I really want to be the winner, and that's the one I really want to boost. And this is going to hopefully give you some feedback as to how you analyze your own marketing when you do content analysis, okay, or you do product analysis, or you do pricing analysis, and you don't have a clear winner. Sometimes look at the metric that look at the metric that is closest to achieving your end goal. So for me, as much as I like all those numbers, the ultimate metric is conversion. How many people for this particular project, how many people became YouTube subscribers? And not only that, what percentage, that's the one I was really looking at, is which percentage of viewers became the most YouTube subscribers. So the one video in question that had a lot of impressions and a lot of views didn't have a high percentage of subscribers. I think it was like somewhere between 1% and 2%. I had some other videos that weren't getting as many views as impressions, but their conversion rate was higher. They were up like 10, 11, 12%. And so to me, that's the ultimate metric right there, is which video is converting the most, not which video is being watched the most, okay? I have been a proponent a long, long time. I mean, kids, I've been doing the social media thing since day one. I accidentally became a social media metric, and something I have been preaching and other social media experts have been preaching for the longest time is just be careful about getting caught up in the vanity metrics, okay? Views are a vanity metric to a point, okay? Impressions are a vanity metric, okay? You know what's not a vanity metric? Is a conversion. Someone doing what they want. Someone buying what they want. Well, we want them to buy, not what they want. But hopefully those two are in line. But somebody subscribing to get on your email list. Someone texting in for more information. Somebody making a business appointment. That's the ultimate one right there. I mean, that thing should count as a couple of conversions. Mark is saying something here about Hormozy, and I listened to his podcast, so let's see what Mark has to say here. That's like Hormozy. He recently switched back to just about business because he switched it up and got more views, but they were not from ideal clients. So he switched back. Yeah. Alex is a smart guy. He really is. I listen to his podcast sometimes on the treadmill or the bike. But data doesn't lie. And I didn't get into marketing realizing that wasn't one of the reasons I chose it. It was one of the reasons I chose it because I know I had some skills that would cross over, and I know I could be halfway decent at it because it wasn't too different than my other skills. And it's also something that someone else needs. When I was analyzing kind of what to pivot to, I was looking at something that someone always needs, okay? Marketing, just like being a funeral home operator, is not going anyplace. Just like being the fry cook at McDonald's. There's never going to be a shortage of fry cooks at McDonald's, okay? That job is not going anyplace. I don't know about the rest of you watching, but I live in America, and McDonald's is not going anyplace. Why does my nose itch so much when I talk? I have no idea what that is. If you see me scratch my nose a lot, it's because for the dickens, for some reason, that thing is itching. So yeah, thanks, Mark. Alex did pivot on that. I did notice that recently. He pivoted based on that. Some other reasons I had here. Um, um, so when it came to marketing, so make sure. One of the reasons I deployed all these videos at the same time is another philosophy that I believe in is the idea of testing multiple things at once. If you're going to be putting stuff in the market, whether it's a product or any kind of piece of content, or specifically something that's on the path of somebody converting, somebody doing what you want, okay? Please make sure you are obviously testing, doing all kinds of A/B testing. You know why? Because the market doesn't lie. The market will tell you the which one's going to work the best. One of my favorite stories is I was reading either a video, I was listening to a podcast or something having to do with Tim Ferriss and his 4 hour. I think his first book was the 4 Hour Work Week, and the 4 Hour Body, and then the 4 hour whatever now has become kind of his trademark there. He said early on that he used ads to determine the title of the book, the 4 Hour Work Week. Okay, he basically put a bunch of ads out there, which is not too hard to do. You can deploy 5 or 10 ads in a heartbeat, and just checked out the stats and saw which one was the most popular. And the 4 hour, whatever he was testing at the time, the 4 Hour Work Week, was the most popular, and that became the title of his book. So you don't have to wonder on this stuff, okay? And if you don't know how to do some of this stuff, obviously reach out. Obviously reach out to us, and we can help you with that. I've got a client right now. As a matter of fact, I've got a meeting with this said client, and right after the show, we are coming up with a new landing page for his ads. And the copy itself wasn't too difficult to work on. Now it's headlines, because I'm such a big proponent of headlines. And I came up with some headlines. I used AI to come up with some headlines, and we're not really sure, obviously which headline is going to work. Excuse me. So we're having a call right after this to kind of determine that. But my point is, and what I'm going to tell him on the call is that there's no winning headline that we can pick out of the gate. The winning headline will be determined by the market. So let's deploy a couple of these headlines and see which one wins. And if none of them win, then it really doesn't matter which one we use after the testing period, okay? But give yourself plenty of testing time on this. If it's a landing page, give it, lots of impressions. If it's an ad, give it lots of impressions and clicks. And then something else I was going to talk about here really briefly also is that be careful about jumping based on immediate data, immediate feedback. You want to jump based more on percentages and based more on trends, if you will, okay? My goodness gracious. What is up with my nose today? When I was running this Facebook ad campaign, which I'm running, this YouTube ad campaign, which I'm running right now, I was getting feedback, within minutes of deploying the ads. I was getting view clicks, I was getting impressions, I was getting views, I was getting clicks, I was getting conversions, okay? That wasn't the problem. And I was really tempted after, 24, 48 hours to start making some decisions about what to keep and what to get rid of. And it turns out that that is not the way to go, okay? You want to gather a lot of data, and you want to look at trends. And specifically, you want to look at, oftentimes, I like to look at percentages, which is basically a factor of someone doing something based on me offering it to them, okay? So I don't necessarily want to see the number of times I put it in front of someone's face. I don't want to necessarily see the number of times somebody did what I want them to do. What I want to really do is a really important metric for me is what percentage of this group B, came from group A, which tells me the intermediate thing, the thing in the middle, is more effective, okay? It could be a headline, could be an image, could be a video, could be a podcast, okay? So the number for A is not necessarily the most important. The number for B is not necessarily the most important, but B divided by A is the really important number. And that's the number I use to make the decisions on what videos are staying and going right now in this YouTube experiment that I'm running. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today, is just the importance of working on things that are quantifiable in your business and the importance of listening to market feedback, okay? because the market never ever lies. It'll tell you what's popular. It'll tell you what'll win. It'll tell you what'll convert. Okay. You obviously have to make sure that there's, obviously all the right tech in place. But the beauty of this world we live in, digital marketing, is it just never lies. The market never lies. It may not do what we want. It may go totally against what our dreams, hopes, and wishes are, but it never lies. Okay. That was my message for the day. I should be live again here Friday morning at 9 a.m. with a new topic for you, probably more strategic related, because that's the feedback that I got yesterday, is that I need to be more strategic in what I'm vocalizing versus being more tactical in what I'm vocalizing. Okay. But thank you for watching as always. I am going to shut down the show now. As always, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube and on Apple Music, the podcast and all other stuff. And other than that, have a great, great Wednesday. This is October 9th, and I will see you, Friday morning.